Afternoon. Just thought I'd do a little clip on a project we've been working on the last couple of weeks, on and off. These are IBCs, just like the one down there, a bit glary today. Just like that one down there, that's the fish tank for the aquaponics setup. These guys here, as you can see, were filled with a black substance. That's liquid boot. It's a concrete sealant for potable water. For rainwater tanks and water delivery, concrete water delivery pipes for urban utilities. So in itself is not toxic. However, I have a bit of a problem using it with these guys, which is a Wicking IBC bed. The black would, the liquid boot would become tacky in the heat and make a bit of a mess of the sand in the reservoir and the dirt on the top, so I decided to line these guys with black plastic. Normally these guys here, that IBC there and the ones we used in the aquaponic setup through there, were $120 each. I think I got a bit of a discount to $100 each because they weren't cleaned out. They just had some organic strawberry fertilizer in them. But anyway, these guys here were $40 each. So I got 3 for the price of 1, so I can't really complain about that. They've been painted. I've perfected the painting of them, nearly. I'm doing an undercoat with Norglass's No Rust. It's an all-purpose primer and it works really well. So these guys here, I put the cage on. There's a few little scratches where I put the cage on. I don't know if you can see in there. But nothing like the fish, the first grow bed I made out of these guys. So what I've got here is 2 overflow pipes. There's one there and one up the other end, just down in there. These are a 19mm irrigation straight barb fitting. Done the same way as I do the others, a bit of shade cloth on the other side, zip tied, and put through a grommet after a 22mm hole was drilled. These guys here are fed the same way through a 100mm or 10cm slotted ag pipe. It goes down and actually spirals in there to create a bit of a void for water to sit. There's sand around the outside, sand in the center and sand over the top to the height of about 15cm, I think, from the highest point in the base, because the base undulates a bit. So that should give us more than lemon moisture in there. In here I have a few different, this is pretty much all just a herb bed, this one. I got some some lemon basil up the back, sage in the center, flat leaf Italian parsley, or flat leaf parsley, and some chives. I have 2 rows that have just started to shoot up now of a Japanese long onion. These guys grow to about 75cm in height, and 40cm of that is usable white stem, like a green onion or shallot or spring onion, depending on where you live in the world. We're a bit backwards down here apparently. So I've got those guys shooting along. This bed here has got some pumpkin pepita. I sowed those guys directly, and they're the hull-less pumpkins. So the seed doesn't have a hole on it or a shell on it, and just comes straight. Really good for males' prostates, so I hear. So I thought I'd whack 4 of those guys in, and we might try and make some sort of a trellis to grow them on. They're a small fruit. They only grow about 4 pumpkins per vine, so I'll thin down to the 4 strongest here, 1 in each corner. The bed was primarily made to be a sweet potato bed. This is a white flesh, purple skin one we saved from out the front. It was dying, so I dug him up and brought him around here. He only had that set of leaf on him when I brought him around, and he's slowly come back since last Monday. This one over here is Hawaiian Sunrise. It's a purple fleshed one from Goodman Seeds via Green Harvest Australia. So that will be going in there. These guys, I'd say the white ones will, white flesh will end up in here, because these guys haven't shot yet, and they'll go in an IBC down the back. At this stage, one of these is going over to a friend. He's a mate who supplied us all the tin for the garden beds. There you go, the tin for the garden beds. So he supplied us them. They're all offcuts from roofing jobs that were going to be thrown away, so we got to recycle them rather than sending them to landfill. So So I've made him up. He'll eventually get 2, but we'll start off with 1. And he'll get one of those delivered next weekend. So I reckon they're going to work out really, really well. The main reason I wanted to do this is because I do know of some people who rent. There's a few of them around. I've spoken to a couple online, and they're being told they can't dig in their rentals for gardens, can't dig gardens, but they're allowed to have a potted garden. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, that's a very large pot. So if they've got a concrete courtyard or something like that, whip up one of these, not a problem. Stick it in there. When you move out, a bit of effort to, you wouldn't move it, you'd empty it out and do whatever you would with the soil or sand, bag it up or put it in a trailer, and you could move it to your next place of residence and set it all up again. So I thought it's a good idea. Actually contemplated making them up and offering them for sale. We'll see how we go with that. Keep me busy at least. And that's just the bottom of another one. As you can see, it's rather messy in there. So I was told that you can clean this liquid boot out before it's set. It goes hard with a high pressure water blaster. I got my father's high pressure water blaster and it wouldn't budge it. Just moved it around the outside of the walls. Some bits came off, but yeah, majority of it just moved around. So what I'm going to do with this, I'll just show you where I'm going to put these 3. There's another one out the front. We'll go to the mate's place. Show you down the back. Right now, this bed here is right down the back, on the back fence line. At the moment, it looks like all that pumpkin's coming from there, but it's not. There's a couple of Jap pumpkin seeds we got from a couple of different seed vendors, Eden Seeds and Green Harvest, growing in there, one of each. And this other one here is growing from under the lemon tree. But anyway, this bed, we've never been happy with this bed. It takes far too long to fill and dries out too quickly. It's a combination of the soil and the way I put the plastic in it, because unfortunately it's only a couple of meters away from these Chinese elm, and there's a big stand, there's a huge Chinese elm behind that on the neighbour's property. So that big one up there, and those guys send roots out everywhere. So we've lost 2 beds that we know of through root intrusion from those guys and the other trees around. So I'm thinking of just cutting my loss, pulling this bed out and putting an IBC bed there. So one will go there. I'm actually going to extend this shade structure up there from the beams over a bit further, and the other 2 will be going over there, so down behind the chicken pen. I've closed off the chicken pen, their chicken yard, so they can't actually get to behind their shed at the moment. So I'm going to put 2 of the IBCs in there. One of them will have the galangal, turmeric and ginger that we've saved in a barrel up beside the house. We thought we'd put them down in there, no harm, can't hurt to grow more than we need, we'll always give it away. And the other bed is going to Kira. Kira would like to grow some veggies for herself, so she hasn't told us what she wants to plant yet, but yeah, she'll be putting some in there. So I just think they're a great idea personally for someone who rents and can't dig up the ground. Also too, they're a nice little neat unit that you can move around the yard without too much hassle, and nice and cheap. So you get two square meters of garden for $100, which is cheaper than some of the metal ones I've seen at the large hardware chain stores. So that's about it. Have a good one.